I've been postponing this review because when I went to New York to Kishi's panel, he did mention at the panel that this could technically be considered, this movie is technically the end of Naruto. After this, it's like, zhoop, that's it. The only thing we would have left in terms of animated content would be the anime, which is currently stuck in filler hell. So I really wanted to take my time with this one. I guess I'll just start with the basics. The animation, music, and sound, in my opinion, for this movie are delicious. I especially enjoyed the ending credit song that they used, as well as the animations that they used for that. I'm still listening to that final song for Boruto right now. Actually, I have it on my computer. Now, thematically speaking, the movie has two main themes. The first one is, how is Naruto and Boruto's relationship going to evolve? How is it going to reach some type of resolution? Because there is some conflict. There's the conflict that was introduced in chapter 700 where Boruto's like, oh man, like, my dad is an asshole. He doesn't like spending time with me, so I'm going to be a rebellious little douche. So that's one of the main things that the movie is constantly pushing at you. The fact that that's an issue that needs to get resolved. The second theme of the movie is, and I'm not kidding, it's basically, hey kids, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad, okay? They have this new type of technology that are basically, they look like pills at first. I thought they were actually, popping pills, but they're actually little mini scrolls that contain jutsus from other clans. So as long as the jutsu that you want is sealed in that little scroll, you could technically use that jutsu without proper training. And that's what Boruto does. He uses those little scrolls to cheat in the Chunin exams. He's a cheater. A cheater! Naruto finds out about this because Hinata uses her Byakugan and Hinata finds the drugs, and so Naruto's like, I need to put him on the spot. So I guess the message of the story is it's okay to cheat as long as you go and fight the evil villains that were destroying your village and win against them. Speaking of the villains, Momoshiki and Kinshiki, I do not give a shit about these villains. These villains have to be some, if not the most uninteresting, one-dimensional, just straight-up forgettable fucking villains in Naruto. It's like, they're just there to like make Sasuke and Naruto look cool by the end. I was actually more interested in their ability than in them as characters. Their ability consists of them absorbing ninjutsu and then, sort of giving it back with double the power, which I thought that was kind of cool. I can't deny that was really cool. And it looks amazing, again. The animation is great. And the movie does kind of tie them into Kaguya and her Zetsu army. In fact, the opening shot of the movie, if I'm not mistaken, is Kaguya's palace. That palace that we see in the final fight against Kaguya that none of us knew what the fuck that was there for. So yeah, that was really cool. But at the same time, I just couldn't care about these characters. I cared more about the guy with glasses, the scientist that was like selling or giving Boruto the jutsu drugs or the jutsu scrolls, than I cared about these guys. The thing about those little scrolls is that they're not illegal. Like Konohamaru even used one at one point during one of his lessons. It's just that Naruto didn't want them to be used during the Chunin exams. So how does this movie compare to the last? Well, it kind of doesn't, because both movies are trying to do very different things, and they both focus on very different characters. The last focuses on Naruto and Hinata's romantic relationship, while Boruto the movie is about closing up Naruto, closing up the series of Naruto through the eyes of the new generation, and it focuses primarily on the characters of Boruto, and Sasuke, which I appreciate because Sasuke wasn't even in the last. So I'm glad that they gave him something to do, and not just something to do, but something that showed him in a role of a mentor, a mature person, and somebody who genuinely cared about the well-being of the village. In fact, Sasuke is the driving force of this movie. He's the one who actually has to remind Naruto that the soul of the shinobi stays the same. It just gets inherited. The movie opens up and bam, we're right there in the action. Sasuke is clashing with Kinshiki, one arm with his katana. I love the katana sounds each time, the clash takes place. He's just such a powerful dude. Even without his Rinnegan, like the taijutsu that he uses, it's on some OP level shit. Like he knows how to block the attacks, how to fucking twirl like a ballerina. Each time they used his Rinnegan to have him switch, the animation for those switches was just fucking phenomenal, man. Especially that final switch that he pulls with his katana and Boruto by the end of the movie during the final fight. That was the move of the fight. I love the Rasengan coming in from Boruto's end, because that's the thing, right? First of all, I love how Sasuke, the first thing he does when he gets back to Konoha is instead of visiting his wife and daughter, he goes straight for Naruto's house. Punk-ass Boruto running down the stairs, about to open the door to hit Sasuke because he thinks the person at the door is Naruto, because Naruto skipped Himawari's birthday. He only sent a shadow clone that dropped the cake. And then you get the slow motion. Like, Boruto's about to hit Sasuke, and Sasuke's just like... So Boruto becomes the #1 Sasuke fanboy pretty early in this movie. His fucking eyes are shining when he sees this guy. He's like, he's so cool. In fact, by the end of the movie, Sarada establishes that her goal is to become Hokage. Boruto says that he wants to become a shinobi like Sasuke, so the goals kind of switch from children to parents. Sasuke's like, do you know the Rasengan? He's like, no. Sasuke's like, don't talk to me then. Although technically speaking, I'm not really sure how much Sasuke trains Boruto in the movie. I think the only thing he tries to teach him is like, how to throw a shuriken. Oh, and shadow clones as well. Sasuke even tells Boruto, hey Boruto, your father was capable of summoning like 1,000 shadow clones when he was your age. And I'm like, yeah, because he had the nine-tailed fox chakra. So the film also addresses the issue of how is Boruto the same as Naruto, and how is he also his own person, and how is he different? So I like that, and it gets addressed through Sasuke. Sasuke offers resolution to Boruto's identity in the fact that he has the most epic fucking speech in this movie. That's when Sasuke made that speech, that was like, oh, it sets up the speech so well. And by the way, the music during the scene was, it was like, oh, we're gonna go rescue Naruto. The 5 Kages are there. It's like, and so he needs to give Boruto a little pep talk, and he tells him, your father was full of weaknesses when I met him. He was a lonely boy, get the shot of the swing, lonely person, and yet somehow out of all this weakness and all this loneliness, he was able to pull himself up and become the man that he is today. Your dad beat me, and I know one day you'll be able to surpass him, because not only are you his son, but you are also my student. And this is the fucking like icing on the cake. He tells Boruto, you're an even bigger loser than your dad, and that's why I know that you'll surpass him. Because now the term saying that somebody is a loser for Sasuke, that's kind of like a term of endearment. It's actually a compliment. So it really got to me, because to me it felt like Sasuke, all those times that he would call Naruto a loser, secretly it was kind of like he was saying, you're actually kind of cool for a loser. And Boruto puts on Sasuke's headband, and you get a shot of Hinata and Sakura, and you can tell from their expression, they're like, yep, that's him. That's Naruto. That's the kid we grew up with. The will has been inherited, and so to me that was like the best moment of the film. In addition to the fights, which I've already covered, like the main one, the fights looked epic, especially when the 5 Kages were going in, because they couldn't use ninjutsu, so they had to use taijutsu against the villains. That was epic as fuck, even though it was short-lived. It was really great seeing the village representatives work together one last time, as well as seeing Naruto and Sasuke work together one last time. What I found really interesting is that by the end of the fight, it's like all of the adults, all of the old gen, kind of take a bet in Boruto landing that Rasengan that he makes. And as he's forming that Rasengan with the help of Naruto, you get like these shots of the people who developed the technique, Jiraiya and then Minato, and how Naruto used it and all that stuff, and it's just so nostalgic. And he actually does land the Rasengan, and it's really, you get a sense of relief and fulfillment and closure. All the previous generations inherited this technique to this little boy that can now go on to fight evil monsters to protect other people. So I like that. I'll just talk about a little bit about the new gen. Mitsuki, we find out who his parent is. If you don't want to know who he is, just cover your ears. Spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3. It's Orochimaru. So I thought it was really cool that even though Mitsuki's parent isn't involved in the village, he, as a kid, actually has the right and the privilege to be a shinobi, to contribute to the life of the village. I thought that was really cool. Sarada, she has the Sakura spunk that's been established. But I also kind of detected a little bit of like a Hinata-like behavior from her, just because there is a romantic undertone between her and Boruto. And she kind of actually stalks Boruto as he's training. So yeah, it's like, it reminds me of Hinata. But the spunk that Sarada has definitely comes from Sakura. There's even this one part, I thought it was hilarious. She tells, hey mom, like ever since dad came back to the village, you've been actually really fucking happy. I thought Sakura was going to say something like, you bet your ass I'm happy. I'm getting pummeled into the bed every single night. Your dad knows all of my best chakra points, if you know what I mean.
I think the final shot of Sakura and Sasuke in the movie is a reference to this shot here of opening 1 of Naruto when they're standing on the roof.
There's more side characters that get introduced specifically for the tuning exam arcs. But you have to remember, it's a 1.5 hour movie, so there's so much in terms of the script. There's just so much ground that you can cover with that time limit. So I think it did a good job overall. Although for the purpose of this movie, a lot of characters aren't really that important. But even then, the side characters look cool. Like Shikadai, he was putting in the work against Boruto. Sakura, she has like this pretty nice scene where she throws a punch and like the airwave like kind of like momentarily stops the rubble from falling on her. And then Tamari comes in. Hinata like actually raced and like ran to save Naruto, and she got hurt in the process. So they have like their moments. Each character kind of has like their moment.
And I really liked the resolution that we got between Naruto and Boruto, which is essentially the understanding from Boruto that even though they're both busy, they have different things that they have to do. Boruto just tells him, hey, when you have time, tell me about how it was like for you growing up.
So when Boruto said that, that really hit home with me, because it's like, dang, it's kind of like he's asking Naruto, is like, Dad, tell me your story. Tell me the story that millions of people all across the world already know about you, which means to me it's like, there's no new content coming up next. Like, that's it. It's the closing of the book. So even though I think the story could have used a little bit more work and other characters could have used a little bit more development, but then again, like, had that happened, the movie would have obviously needed to be longer than it was. So that aside, I think it's really good at providing Naruto fans with closure, and the animation and the visuals are amazing. Those are my thoughts. Tell me yours down below in the comment section. Like the review if you did. I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Remember that Sasuke is the best character of the show. This movie proves that he is. I'm just joking. Kinda. Catch you guys later.